this building because it certainly qualifies. This building was originally a schoolhouse, but it wasn't the first. In 1893, students were schooled by a Mr. T.J. Foley in a home at Freeman's Beach, and just southeast of here. And after 1894, a second school was located on Benson Road near the Gulf Air Mobile Home Park, where that is today. The first schoolhouse constructed on this site was done in 1900. It was only one room, and by 1905 it already had 83 students. Point Roberts was a very busy township. There were at least 3 canneries and all the fishing traffic that involved, as well as a general store, a post office, and many other businesses. And so they had to have another room. Pictures show the white wooden building and many of the students who attended. So this is the white wooden building, and these are the classes over the years. By the time, and yes, they all walked to school, so that's what my dad told us. Come rain, come snow, they all walked to school. And they had finally added 2 more rooms, so it was a 4-room building. And it served 109 students by 1909. But by the time the Great Depression years of the 30s, the building had deteriorated a lot. Local residents wanted to have some improvements done. They were told by the government that there was no money for improvements, but through the workers, what is that? The Workers Project Administration, or formerly known as the WPA, there would be funding for a brand new schoolhouse. So they started a brand new schoolhouse right beside the old one. So it is my understanding that the wooden schoolhouse was right here. And this was then built out of brick. And this is the new one here. It was finished in 1938. And by the time I started first grade in 1954, there were 24 students, ranging from grades 1 to 6, all in one room, and were taught by one teacher, Mrs. Sonia Miller. All but one cannery was gone. The best of the fishing had probably ended by then. And it was a very quiet place here. We rode our bikes everywhere. This room was a workshop. The library was where it still is today. And the room across the hall was the classroom. And where the pool tables are, that was the playroom. The bathrooms were up the hall here, and there was a very small room for the teacher to hide in. That was it. And there were steps outside. So there's a picture of us all in 1958, and a lot of the students sitting on the steps outside here. And that's me with my lunch kit in grade 1, howdy doody. So you can pass that around too if you like. Yeah, there you go. And then a local family who remained anonymous donated new playground equipment, and we had a shiny big slide, monkey bars, swings, and a merry-go-round. And by then we also had a little school bus. It was just a tiny little yellow bus, and it went around the point and picked everybody up and took everybody home. And a good friend of the family, Agda Zemke, she drove the bus. She was also the librarian and also the janitor. People here still work 2 or 3 jobs. And I believe that Mary Dartina also worked as a janitor and a bus driver at one time. And after 6th grade, all the students were bused to Blaine.
Chris, can I ask a question?
Yeah.
In this picture that's going around, that
Yeah.
looks like all the students were girls.
All the boys were playing softball.
Oh, and then you didn't show up for program. Okay.
I noticed that too. I thought, where were they? They were not to be found on that particular day. All right. By 1962, only 11 students remained, and so the school was closed, and everybody was bused to Blaine. Although if you had a kindergarten child, they often went to kindergarten in Tawasin because that was so close at hand, and it was
So-
totally permissible.
I attended school that year.
Yeah,
Um,
she was one of the last students here.
Last students, and so we had, me and Norman Rittiger were in first grade, no one in second grade, his sister in third grade, 4 kids in fourth grade, and his sister and another kid, girl in 5th grade. One teacher, Mrs. Christensen,
Oh yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
So did the Blaine School District pay the tuition for Tawasin?
No,
No.
no. It wasn't really a big issue at the time. The border was a lot looser and more open.
It really was, the border was a lot looser,
You know, if you wanted to send a child to kindergarten there,
no big deal.
no biggie.
That's where I went, was
Yeah.
Chawasin.
Yeah. So, yeah, and since closing as a school, the building has been, well, wait a minute, in the early 90s, I can't exactly remember when, but there was one more year when it became a school,
That's
when the
right.
primary school started up here in Point Roberts again. And for a year before they built the new school up near Bakerfield and the new fire hall, it was in this building. And again, it was a one-room schoolhouse. But since then, this building has become our community center, owned and administrated by the Point Roberts Parks District. And as road improvements raised the road level, the land surrounding the building had to be raised as well. And that project covered the back steps and where the old playground had been completely. And if you walk out there, and you might, you can see where it drops off there.
Chris, when was the old schoolhouse demolished?
I'm not sure. Do you know when?
I'm sorry?
When was the old schoolhouse demolished?
The white building,
Yeah.
it stayed outstanding for a year or two, I think, after this one was built. And then gradually
Yeah,
taken
I was just
down.
wondering, because our neighbors salvaged some of the lumber, but I guess it had a hole in between.
No, after it was torn down, it was just taken to the playground, yes. But I think.
So was it on this side or this side?
No, this side.
So, in 1995, there was a windfall for the building. A descendant of a founding family, the Reedlogs, is that how you say that? The Reedlogs, they used to own property up near the Mount Monument, according to that map. And one of them left a legacy for a building to be improved in Point Roberts, a rather historical building. And after some talk, they decided it would be this building. And at that point, Irene Waters had been on the board, the Parks Board for years and years, and she, did a personal overseeing of making sure that all the funds were handled well and went ahead. The building has been extended because this was a much smaller room. New bathrooms were added, the kitchen was improved and made more institutional and commercial. The library moved had an extra room added to it, and this small office here was added. Before that, there had been space, but it was taken up by a very evil smelling boiler room where nobody wanted to go. And if you go down the crawl space, there's still remnants of all that here. However, they've done a lot to fix up damp, mold and damp issues. The building's been walked through by experts, and recommendations have been made and followed to fix it up. And as it stands today, it probably still needs a lot of stuff. Recently, they fixed up the roofs so it doesn't leak. And it's used a lot. It's used by almost every community group, from the Chamber of Commerce to the beekeepers. And the seniors, they meet here twice a week for meals. They play pool, they get their blood pressure taken, they play cards and disperse. And then they've also rented out rooms for public events or private events like weddings and whatnot. So there is a lot of use for it. There's community garden plots outside. I'm not exactly sure how that works, but you can grow your own little garden in the summertime here if you want. And there was even once a bocce ball field all fixed up. It was beautiful, but I think it was very close to a drain field, and that's gone. Didn't work. So that's how it has gone, and I wanted to give you all time to look at the pictures of the people and the graduates and how the building was. These are how the back steps were. And these are some of the kids from 1904, 1916, 1923, 37, 48. There you go. So take a look at that.
The building behind there, the white, in that bottom picture, is that the old schoolhouse? At the bottom, the one from 29 to 37.
This one.
Yeah, is
I
it?
think so.
Yeah.
That looks like it.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So there you go.
So how old is this building?
Built in 1900, so it is 116 years old. Yeah,
Wow.
I know.
Chris,
It's a miracle.
this all is me.
It looks like the wooden, with the white wooden structure, that maybe they just bricked over the whole face of it, because
No, they
it's the
didn't.
same shape as.
It's basically the same shape, but no, it's a separate building.
Okay.
Yeah, because they didn't have the funds to fix. The funds were only available to build something new, not to repair something that needed fixing. You know, government works in strange ways. So I wanted to take you on a tour, and this room has practically become the Historical Society's home. All the quilts that Judy Ross made of derelict homes are featured here on the walls. She was very generous to give that. And some of the pictures of the people's old homes and the old people are still here. Next time perhaps we'll talk about Off Bat, who was the one Chinese person of fame that lived here. Our grandparents are here, right behind you there.
Are they your grandparents?
Yes,
Oh, you.
my grandparents. My sister is here, so our grandparents.
Oh, I didn't realize you were native here.
I have been called
We try not to admit
Well,
Okay, so come around and we'll go on a little walking tour and tell you a little bit more. Take a look, and then I'll meet you in the hall.
I see my dog.
And maybe have a photograph on that one here. And there you were. So all of them at every room, the rooms were all more or less identical to this one. And there was a blackboard here. And we played dodgeball here. We had a piano. The teacher would bring us around. She taught us all the old tunes that our parents knew. Yeah. And today, the pool tables belong to the seniors, so if anybody wants to play pool, I say you've got to talk to them. Pretty touchy about their pool table. These doors are a new addition. They weren't here before, and opening it gives us all access to this room. This room was originally ending here, and at where that stage begins. assign something to the older kids, and then she'd work with the little kids, and then she'd have the middle kids go up to the board and do math or something, and maybe get a smack if they didn't get it right. The big kids would finish their assignment, and they'd listen to the little children read. So it was a lot of work and study, and we were some of the smartest classes that ever went to Blaine. Okay, this is the kitchen as it is now. They have a pantry, a freezer, refrigerator. They're all set up for major meals, and this works out very well for the seniors. They come here on Wednesdays and Fridays. Some people come from Canada just for this, and they enjoy it. It's also where most of the public meetings are held. If someone comes from the county to speak, they usually come here to this room, and we set things up. It's really nice having a good kitchen here. All right, and then,
Oh, that breeze feels good.
this is where the back steps were.
Oh, wow.
And you can see that they backfilled everything.
Yeah, for sure.
For sure, because almost every graduating class had its picture taken on these steps. But with time, things change. They've got a new playground over there. There's a place for the Saturday markets. And I believe this belongs to the Historical Society. It used to be in one of the canneries. This thing here. It was called the Iron Shank. And it was used in the fishing. It processed over 30,000 salmon per day.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's a lot.
It's left over from one of the canneries and was brought here. And if you walk over that way a ways, we'll see where you can see the other part of the landfill. You can see how the land starts to slope here.
Yeah, let's read it for that.
The road was improved, and the road was so much higher than the building that there were drainage issues, so they had to fill in and raise the ground level of the building.
Is over there and they didn't raise.
That's why there's this enormous crawl space.
We don't know too bad
Still.
because they put drains, but we get it
It's
from the street.
underneath where the boiler room is. When you left that room where I was,
Yeah.
there was a door with a lock on it.
Yeah?
It's in there.
Oh, I see.
Yeah.
So you just keep that lock all the time.
Yes. Which is unfortunate because that's where they keep the toilet paper.
They call me when they need that.
So, we've got the keys, but it's very,
I know,
very
I know.
complex to get there. You just can't be in a hurry. So this is where the ground slopes away. You can see it more clearly here.
Oh, yes.
Yeah. And the old level was like that,
Oh,
where
wow.
that meadow is.
You mean it was pretty much flat
Yes,
all
it
the way
was.
up
It was flat all the way up to the road. So,
instead of this stage sloped down from
Yeah.
the road?
yeah.
Wow.
And you can see it over here too. It's a little bit sharp. And now they've got a very safe playground here because the merry-go-round, as much fun as it was, is probably, I don't know, we loved that merry-go-round.
You went to school here?
So this is all new and very new and I'm saving the best for last. We're going to go back to the library. Hi, ladies.
Hello.
It's all being recorded for your convenience. We're doing a tour.
Oh, I see.
Yeah. This is part of the Saturday market. It's closing up right now. Hi, how did the sales go?
Pretty busy.
Oh, good, good. Thank you so much. This little kiosk has in past times they've had money to keep it open. But if you ever need a map or another newspaper, you can usually find it here. They usually leave the maps. There's Henry. He's our map provider. Anything you need, Henry knows.
Need maps. I'm not here. They hang out there.
That's true.
Don't call Rita.
Oh, right on the map. Well, I gave maps away to my guests and it's in here.
Yeah.
I do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so I saved the best for last and taking you into the library.
Yay!
The Historical Society has fixed up, this was originally built for the Boy Scouts to show off their trophies, but there's no longer any Boy Scouts here that meet. And so the Historical Society has used this display area to put seasonal displays up. And they're always interesting.
They are.
Yeah. This was what they called a plunger,
A plunger?
but not for a toilet. They'd stand on the boats and they'd plunge this in to get the fish all worked up and closer to the nets. Yeah.
That's neat.
Yeah. So
Chris, the wooden red structure that's out there.
that's a shed.
Yeah, why? What's it used for? Just for storage?
Yes. They've got. They
The
have
Parks
summer
District has the
programs here
kayaks.
now.
Parks District has the kayaks in
Yeah,
there.
the Parks District has a lot of summer programs and they store things there
I
like
see,
the
okay.
kayaks and other things for the kids.
What are these?
Nets, fish nets, corks, all that. And here's the creme de la creme, the library.
Save the best for the last.
These are the best for the last. The library is one of the smallest branches of the Whatcom County Library System. And we're open now in the summer on Fridays as well as Mondays, Wednesdays, and Saturdays, or Tuesdays, Wednesdays, and Saturdays. You'd think I would know by now. This is the small area that was opened up to house the children's books. And as you can see, with children's books and toys and children, that's pretty jam-packed. This is our little hidey hole. And should anything scare us, we're going to run in here. But behind here were those doors. There's still one here that pulled down. And you can see, if you peek in, you can see the brass hooks that they had for
Oh,
hanging
yeah.
up
Oh, yeah, I
Um,
noticed. Oh, wow.
coats. Yeah.
That's neat.
Yeah, it is, you don't expect anything behind it.
When I started going to school here in 1954, this was the library. It was always the library. And the librarian would say, "Now, Kristen, you're going to bring this book back on time. You're going to take care of it." And I'd say, "Oh, yes."
Was it a school library or?
It was a school library at the time, but it was a public library as well. It It was open to the school children once a week, but it was also a public library. It's been a public library since 1946. And a few years back they said, well, what are you thinking of in the future? What would you like to have? Is this going to be adequate? And we took a look around and thought, holy cow, maybe not. Here we've got 2 people working on their computers and the table's about taken up. And so, you know, it's nice to have places to sit, to chat, for people to feel at home. And this is one of our people feeling at home. This is the teen area. So hopefully with a larger space, we will have more room for everybody and all the things that they would like to see. And as you can see, our staff and storage area is right there. And like I said, this is a twin room to the one across the hall, with the cupboards removed, the little drawers, and this is our staff room.
Oh yeah, I could go there and
No, go in here and have lunch, yes.
That's cute.
Okay, so
We need a better union.
I know. So this sort of ends the talk for today, but next week it will be something, another house perhaps off that, so we'll see.
Are we gonna go look at the house?
No, we can't go look at the
Oh, we
house.
can't look at houses?
This is the only tour I can do walk through because it's right here.
Alright.
Alright.
But I
can
can
have them
tell
walk
you
through our
about the
house,
other
Kim.
place. I can tell you about
Are you doing the 4th of July, the signs on Gulf? Are you doing the signs
Oh
on?
yeah, on the 4th of July, the Historical Society is going to put little informational signs along this road where some of the older buildings are, and it will tell a little bit about their history.
Oh really? And
Those you can walk and see.
And so you can walk and see along the parade route how it
You can't go in, but you can walk and see the
you can-
buildings.
You can walk through, walk around, take a look, see what the picture says.
Alright, that's cool.
Yeah,
Thank
that's
you
it.
so much.
Thank you very much. And again, if anybody has any outfit that they want to talk about, any house, any pictures, I'll be glad to help you set something up and we'll do a story.